And Sophy Ridge has been spending the day on and off the train, travelling from George Osbourne's constituency of Tatton in Cheshire all the way to Westminster. On the journey south, she's been through exotic Birmingham and now is enjoying the delights of rugby.
Sorry, I just got a train going past me. I think it's one of the hazards of broadcasting from a station. But yeah, I've just arrived in Rugby, tracking George Osbourne's commuting to work and stopping off and finding out what people make of his spending review. Now, I'm joined now by two people who run small businesses in Rugby. It's Sheila Bell and Paul Rogers. Now, the Chancellor has announced £50 billion worth of capital investment. I guess you're hoping that some of that will go to small businesses.
I think the small business community is very vibrant in the area, and the main thing is that we need to make sure that they're supported and also make sure there's a positive message out there. They're all working really hard and doing really well, and we just need to make sure that they get the support and that the media and everybody else looks at this as a positive thing instead of all of the negatives. I think that would make a huge difference.
I think, yeah, I've got a little phrase at the moment, small is big. Small businesses and medium-sized businesses account for 48% of the UK's turnover, and therefore we have a big proportion of the boost to the economy, and whatever can be done at the moment to increase turnover, exports for example, is a key area that the Federation of Small Businesses, which we're both members of, is trying to encourage the Chancellor to put money that way.
Yeah. One of the groups of people who have been quite squeezed in the spending review are workers in the public sector. So George Osbourne says he wants to end the idea that they should get automatic pay rises. There's two people who are working in the sharp end of the private sector. Do you think that's a good thing?
I think everybody needs to learn how to budget now. There's been a lot of things in the past that it has been a set thing, and it's very difficult with what people have expected of what was, when they took the job on, what they did. But the main thing is that most people and most small businesses have had to budget. They've had to look at exactly what their expenditure is and where to spend the money and what they need to do. And this is basically the government being an employer and doing the same thing. And it is very difficult when it's close to home and it's people's, but I think as a whole thing, that's what we need to do. The other thing we need to do is make sure that people are actually working. It is an even spread throughout everything. The last thing we want to do is have loads of people taking early retirement and then find that in 4 or 5 years' time, when we need their skills, that we take them back on as consultants, and then we'll be paying them even more money and their pensions as well. So I think it needs to be even.
And Paul, what's the local economy like here in Rugby? Do you think it's been suffering from the economy?
It's fared better than most. We do have quite a varied mix of industries and services in the area. Rugby is still a growing town. There's still going to be in excess of 10,000 new houses still to be built in the town. We've got a large distribution hub, and of course we've got the railway here, and the motorway network is very vital to the whole industry of getting goods from one end of the country to the other.
And then if I could just ask you just quickly in one word, do you think that George Osbourne is the man to steer the country through this difficult time?
I think we need to stick to whatever people have decided. Keep changing all the time is always a recipe for disaster.
Thank you very much, thank you. So, two small businesses there who have a very positive message that they want to give about how their businesses are faring in these difficult economic times, and I think widely they're quite supportive of George Osbourne's spending review.
Yeah, interesting take on it. Okay, Sophie, thank you very much indeed. Sophy Ridge made it to Rugby there. Coming up on Sky News, all change in Australian politics as the Prime Minister, Julia Gillard, is